Metal-heads.de.
Hello Metalheads, we are in Cologne in the Helios. Beside me is Fernanda of Nervosa. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, not a problem, always a pleasure.
Why are you in Europe? Is Brazil so boring or?
I mean, Brazil is pretty fucked up right now politically, but that's not the reason I'm here. We're here for this tour. We love touring. Europe is always welcomes us very well, so that's why we're here. One more tour. I guess it's the eighth or ninth tour we're doing around here. I don't know. I've lost the count.
A friend of us, a colleague, really saw you supporting Destruction and was really impressed.
Yeah, that was really a nice tour. Very important. It was the first big tour we did, like on a tour bus and as a support act for a big band. So it was really cool every night because, like, they're my idols. So it was like really nice to be in touch in such a way. And also because we learned a lot, like on these big tours, you really learn a lot. So it was really nice, a whole experience. And of course, like, we got to reach more fans because, like, people sometimes didn't know us, and then they went to the show for Destruction. We were there. They were like, "Oh, that's cool." That's the other nice part of playing as a support act for such great bands.
Okay, let's come back to Brazil. What are the difference between Brazil or South America and Europe or Germany in special?
Yeah, there's a lot of differences. I mean, in the crowd, right? The fans and everything. I think in Brazil mainly, but in South America in a general way, we don't get bands playing there like all the time. Now it's better, like once every year or once every 2 years, the big bands go there and play shows. But still, it's not like in Europe where, like, in the same summer, you can watch the same band like 5 times in 5 different festivals. That just doesn't happen there. So when we have those shows, those bands playing there, we get like super extra excited. And then we get crazy, basically. So that's why you're always going to hear that South American fans are crazy. And also because, like, South Americans, like, in their way of being, like, we behave in much more passionate way, let's say. Like, we're very, like, we talk very loud, we use our hands very much, we like to hug and touch and everything. So, like, we're more, how can I say that? I don't know, like, we're just like...
You let your heart out?
Yeah, we're like, so passionate about everything. And with music, it's the same thing. We're very passionate about it.
Here in Cologne, I think there are about 15 or 20 venues where you can see metal bands playing. What is it like in Brazil or in Sao Paulo where you live?
It really depends. Like in Sao Paulo is huge. We have like around 20 million people living there. So you've got all kinds of things going on every night, different venues. It's been better before. Like, we've had more venues like focused on metal and rock and underground scene. Now it's not that much, but we still got lots of venues. But if you go to smaller cities, then it gets tough. Like, not usually we have like a proper venue. Sometimes it's like a party saloon or a wedding, like this kind of...
Friends of mine are living in Florianopolis and there's no rock or metal at all.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, wherever you go in Brazil, I think it's the same, like in the whole world, you'll find metalheads, you'll find like crazy passionate metalheads, but not always the scene is gonna be big, like, cause metal is not, it's popular in Brazil because, like, we have a lot of people, so there's a lot of metalheads, but there's way more other genres that would come before metal, like in popularity. So that's why we don't have a lot of fans, but the scenes is still very strong. Like it's very strong. It's wide. It's intense. So wherever you go, you'll find the scene, but not always gonna be like in the capital cities like São Paulo, Rio, Belo Horizonte.
Okay, if some of our readers or viewers want to visit Brazil, where should they go?
Oh my!
When they see a metal show or...
Oh, okay. Like, I mean, when you ask me, like, if you go to Brazil, where would you go? I already think of, like nature and touristic stuff. Of course, you'll be able, like, there's metal shows every week, so it wouldn't be a problem finding a metal show and like metal bars to go in São Paulo. But usually in the capital city is gonna be better. But if you're not looking for metal only, there's a lot of natural touristic stuff that there's nothing like in any other place in the world.
Okay, yeah, my friends like it there, but something happened. You got a new president, so let's get serious.
Yeah, I mean, that's the worst thing literally that happened to my country, in my humble opinion, in the last years. We had like in 150 days of government, we went back in time like 100 years with laws and stupid measures that they're doing. And it's not only a political stuff, because, like when you're discussing politics, you're basically talking about, like the way you should handle economy and stuff like that. But the guy who is our president now, he's a racist, homophobic, misogynist. He's like the worst thing. And he says all of that openly. He doesn't even try to hide.
Yeah, and you get approval, my friend said.
Huh?
You get approval from the people.
He gets approval because, in a way, I think now I can see that some Brazilian people are just like that too. Racist, homophobic, misogynist. And that's why I think it's bad, because we were marching towards something cool, like regarding equal rights and rights to all the minorities and stuff like that. And now it's all disappearing, and it's like stupid stuff that you see on the news every day, and things you can't believe. Like he went to a black community, and then in an interview later he said like these guys should be sold like slaves and stuff like that. So it's not politics, it's like humanity, like this guy is the worst thing, because he's not a bad politician. He's a bad human being. I mean, you just don't do that. He said that he'd rather, if he had a gay son, he would punch him in the face until he became a man again. And he said women should gain less money than men because we're less capable. Stuff like that from the last century, It makes me sad, but I'm going to stick there, and I'm going to be against it with all force I can.
Raise your fist?
Raise your fist is about it. And I wrote it way before he was elected, which is pretty, but it's a good, because now it's a song that I feel even prouder of having writing it, because I'm like, yeah, like I'm against everything you represent. And I'm going to raise your fist until you put me down. I don't care. But it's very sad. I mean, I love my country, and it's really sad that it's happening right now, man.
And my friend said people are... you didn't think of them acting this way. You thought, hey, normal people, and now they come out, hey, yeah, he's right, and...
Yeah. It's like it's a social study that should be done around it. There's some being happening right now to understand like what happened. You see like poor people hating poor people. You see even like black people hating black people. You see like people willing to have guns to protect themselves and kill whoever approaches them. Like, what the fuck? So I think people got a bit crazy, but I don't think it's Brazil's an it's exclusive in that. It's not the only special country that we see like this. There's a wave of this kind of thing going on in the world. Well, you see Donald Trump, which is like probably the worst human being ever born. And we've got a couple of worse. We got a couple of worse.
But he's acting like a rock star, doing whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah. And like posting on Twitter, just like our president, like he posts stuff on Twitter. It's fucking ridiculous. And like there's many European countries where you have like this crazy strict right movements, and I think in the whole world people are getting a bit crazy. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. Like you're getting a bit crazy.
Okay, let's get back to music and the unifying power of music. I think you're coming here from Brazil to Germany, and people attending your show and liking it. Why don't I don't know how to say. If we all would go to concerts, we could lie in our arms and say, "Yeah, that's it." Don't care what color we have or religion.
I mean, that's I think with what art and music should do, like shows people that, we're all the same. We can have fun together. There's nothing bad at it. But now we see that even in music, there's a couple weird people like thinking the opposite way.
Okay, another serious question. Should music be political? You are.
I'm definitely, and I'll always be. There's a sentence from Nina Simone, which is a singer that I love, and she was very political, that she said, "I think it's an artist's duty to reflect the times they're living in. Because music is not only about art, music is communication too. We're talking to a lot of people. So, I mean, there's people who see music as an entertainment only. And I've been there. I've seen music already as an entertainment only, which I think is okay. But I think that music is a way of expressing yourself also. I think art is a way of expressing yourself. And when I express myself in music, mainly with thrash metal, which is an aggressive kind of music, I like to write about stuff that bother me on my daily routine, that I don't like, about not only regarding politics, but also about other kinds of social things and everything. And I think to me it's important as a way of, like releasing, expressing myself, but also making people think and debate. I think most of the problems we have nowadays, it's because like people just accept what's coming. A lot of people don't think about anymore, don't debate anymore. And if music can play this role, I think it's very important. And I agree with Nina Simone. I think an artist should reflect the times they're living in. I think it's important.
Yeah. Great words. Okay, I think we are running out of time. Oh God, we've got 5 minutes more. Okay, there are some metal bands coming from Brazil. Mm-hmm. But perhaps there are bands that are not known in Europe, so perhaps you can name some we should listen to.
I could spend like 10 days listening to you.
5 minutes only.
But really, we have such a solid metal scene and so many quality bands. We just don't get heard outside of Brazil because, it's hard enough to make a living in Brazil. When you decide to be a metal musician, it's even harder. So it's harder to get good equipment, to invest on recording. So it's way harder, in a general way. But we have so many good bands. We have like Ratos de Porão, we have Torture Squad, we have Claustrophobia, we have Living Metal, we have Jack Devil, we have Lacerated and Carbonized, Crisium, of course. So many bands. And also there's a lot of girl bands in Brazil. Lots of. We have Valhalla, we have Pandora, we have Sinaya, we have Skata, We have Skrota, which is probably my favorite, and so many bands, and also bands with girls in it, like singing or playing drums or whatever. There's so many you should check out. Like, we have lots of good bands. These are just some.
I only knew Sinaya. Is it, or the metal scene in Brazil, are they equal? When there are so many female metal bands.
In Brazil, you mean? It's something very interesting because, like, if you speak like socially, Europe is there's way more equality between genders than in South America. South America is still pretty sexist. Because of that, like, before we came doing our first tour, I was like, it must be so cool in Europe, like, because there's more gender equality. I think we're gonna play with a girl band like every night. And I rarely played with an all-girl metal band. And in Brazil and in South America, you've got lots of them. Like, lots of them. And I was thinking about it, and I think it's because, because we're not, it's pretty sexist in there. I think girls are more aggressive. They're more like, oh, you think I can do it? I can, and I'll show you. I'll fucking do it. So that's why we have so many bands, and that's pretty cool. But in other hand, what I think it's pretty cool around here, for example, and in the United States, that we don't have as many in Brazil as we have here, is girls promoting shows and like roadies and sound engineers. We have many here in Brazil. We're starting to get some. So it's, yeah, each country has its positive sides, like regarding girls in the metal scene. But
interesting.
It's interesting.
Really interesting, yeah. Okay, but one last question. What can we do here in Germany and Europe to support the Brazil scene?
I think just, like whenever you see someone talking about it, go for it. And whenever you see, like, Brazilian bands are always touring here, like in smaller, more underground gigs, go there, show up, see what you think. We're always very warm and receptive. We will love to have you on our shows. I speak like in behalf of all Brazilian bands. So if you ever hear that there's a Brazilian band, go there, check them out, go to the show, support them, buy a t-shirt, or just listen to them and spread the word. I think spreading the word actually is the most important thing. As I said, like, it's hard for us to get in the scene here, like that's why since Sepultura, there's just like a couple of bands that were able to be, like white none in Europe. So I think the cool thing is spread the word. If you found out about a Brazilian band and you like it, spread the word. We need that. It will be really helpful to our scene. And we will provide you back. We'll pay you back with like good visceral metal.
Okay, and can we say fuck Bolsonaro, fuck racism, fuck homophobia, metal?
I love the end of the interview. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Metal-heads.de